today. So we have a 2002 here in the shop that we're changing, fixing an oil leak. We're changing the front main cover, front main seal, the timing cover gasket, and the front cover gasket. So I'm in the process. We're going to tear apart the front end. I'm going to have to pull the cam out to get the timing cover housing off to change the gasket, and we're gonna have a good day of tearing into a second gen that had some oil leaking and throwing it up into the belt. It was running up, it was actually throwing it up onto the hood, coming up in the inner fender. It was a little rather excessive. The customer wanted us to replace it, so we're tearing into that today.
So we're getting ready to head out to the Kill Care tomorrow with the truck, going out to the Judgment Day No Prep race that Bill Lutz is putting on. Gonna see how we fare at doing some no prep stuff. I'm not really sure what to expect, but we're gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. Just really doing some general maintenance. Don't really have just a whole lot we had to do to the truck. Changing training fluid. Still working on trying to get my lift pump pressure down on the fuel, so mess with the spring and the regulator of the Aviade pump there to try to, we're still seeing like 43 pounds of lift pump pressure during a run. We'd really like to get that down in the teens somewhere. So yeah, just some little knickknacks like that, put new tires on the back, and just make sure everything's good to go.
Okay, we're getting ready to head over to Performance Auto Spa, drop the truck off for some window tint. We're just going to tint the front two windows to match the rear. And I'm usually a darker window tint guy, but with a truck like this that I drive everywhere, I don't like to be hassled with window tint, and I don't want to, after dark, it makes it tough to see. So I've got 20% on the windshield and 5% on the sides on my quad cab, and it's a little plenty dark, so I'm just going to match the front two windows on this one and probably do 5% on the back window to try to give the cabin a darker look overall.
Today we are doing something a little bit different. We have Aaron Darnell's 68 Camaro on the dyno. We're working with Hot Shot Secret. They're testing out a few things. So we don't get to see this type of stuff on our dyno very often, but we're excited to test it out and see what kind of power we can make, and hopefully they get the results that they need from their testing.
Yeah, today we're testing some 90 octane racing fuel. Purpose of this project, we have a racing fuel manufacturer that sells fuel overseas. Okay. They're limited to what they can do to it to get horsepower gains. Our nano lubricants would be something that would be an allowable modification, so we're doing some tests to see at different concentrations if it affects horsepower.
Cool. Alright, so we are finished with testing. We started out with some baseline pulls with just 90 octane gas. We did 3 or 4 pulls to get an average run. Made 357 horsepower on the baseline pulls, and then they added the nano lubricant, which is the main lubricant in FR3 product. They added 1% to the gasoline, or a 1% mixture to the gasoline, and we did another 3 or 4 pulls to get an average, and we did 366 horsepower with a 1% mix. And then they wanted to see if we could get any more power out of it, so we did a 2% mix and did 369 horsepower. They were hoping to see a 1 to 2% gain from the baseline numbers, which is what they got. So they're happy with the end results, and hopefully their race fuel manufacturer will be okay with it and be happy with the end product as well. So we will get them off the dyno and send them on the way.
Thought I'd show you guys a little bit how we refill our nitrous bottles. In the years past, we've used a couple of different nitrous pumps, and while they do work, they seem to have their frustrations. Had O-rings go out kind of occasionally and often at inconvenient times, and you're really up a creek. This spring we were at Ryan's Race in Florida, and the guys from Applied Racing Components were there, and they hooked us up with these sweet bottle heaters. So really all we do is heat the mother bottle, and then in warm conditions you need to put your small bottle on ice. So far this spring, with the cooler temps, we haven't had to really put the small bottles on ice much. We've had really good luck with getting them full quickly, easily. I wish I would have just started out with this system from the get-go, which is why I figured I'd share it with you guys. It's super simple. I have two 500 watt heaters. I believe they also make 1,000 watt. Pretty much I just use one on my mother bottle, and then I keep this one around for when we need to bring pressures up on the bottles on the truck. So I've had this heater on this bottle for about half an hour. This bottle is warm enough that I wouldn't want to keep my hand on it for more than a few seconds. So it's got really good heat in it, which brings the pressure up really nice. So then really all you need is a quarter turn valve and a transfer hose. So I'm going to hook this up. This bottle, I'm just topping it off for the weekend. It's already got 16 pounds in it. I just want to top my bottles off before we go into the weekend. So I don't have like a full bottle to fill up, but you'll still get the idea of how easy it is. So we're at 16.9 pounds. About half a pound of that is the weight of the hose hanging on it. The capacity of this bottle full is 20 pounds, so just need to open both valves. And then you just need to crack the quarter turn and just watch the scale. There we go, we're at 21 pounds, so we're at full capacity. Super simple. That's what I like about it. The only downside to it is you need to make sure that you have a little bit of forethought if you need to fill bottles. You need to have your warmer on, a half an hour ahead of time. So when you go racing, when we start racing, I'll just plug the bottle in so that I know it's good and warm. The one that I have here is not a regulated heater, so you can't just leave it on all day. So you need to kind of keep some, tabs on it and not leave it plugged in too long. But super simple, love the way it works, would recommend this system to anybody that wants to fill their own nitrous bottles.